Oh, it is so cold, Jono.
You said it, Konrad. It is so cold in the apartment studio.
We've been trapped here for literal minutes. I've been counting the clocks. All three of them say we've been here for at least 4.
Oh, God, who is that? Hey, it's me, Jack Nicholson. I'm the Thing, or something. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Film Fights. I am your fearless host, Jono Rodriguez. And with me, of course, is my McNamara pistachio mustachio Glastonia from Estonia, Fabuloso Carousel Baby Cram, Konrad Hartman. Hello, Konrad. Hello. How are ya?
Hey, so real quick, controversial opinion. I love the smell of Fabuloso.
Well, I mean, you have to. You pour that Fabuloso out in the basement when you're cleaning, and it's like, oh, that's all I smell. I have to love it.
Yeah, you're forced. And I worked in a place where that was like all we used to clean everything, and so I went home smelling like Fabuloso, and I think I assimilated it into my being.
Into your lungs.
Into my lungs.
And then now you're waiting for the doctor results.
No, I'm waiting for that infomercial to come on after the mesothelioma commercial to be like, if your loved one has been affected by Fabuloso, then call us now.
Wait, what's the infomercial about Mesopotamia or whatever you said?
They're saying if you've ever lived in Mesopotamia, sorry.
Don't worry, Methuselah will be coming around and give you your keys to your home in Methuselah. Wait, I already said that.
Mesopotamia,
Methuselah? Yeah.
Those are two separate countries. Stop being so ignorant.
Well,
Methuselah is.
Well, we know what their famous pastime is. It's mashed potatoes. That's the pastime.
Let me tell you something. If you're living in a country where your pastime is not mashed potatoes, I feel sorry for you. That's all I have to say. Yeah. Because they're so creamy and buttery.
Well, I mean, you're kind of throwing shade at Ireland during a time when they didn't have potatoes. And speaking of Ireland, we do have an Ireland person in the movie we are talking about. Oh, wait, first we have to do the... Wait, have you introduced the show yet?
No.
Konrad, while people are scratching their heads like, is this the show?
Well, I hope you're scratching it because it's itchy, because I'm about to tell you what goes down. Here on Film Fights, Jono and I like to pick 2 movies and pit them against one another in a brutal grudge match with one coming on top to reign supreme. And listen, we know this is like that weird time of year where it's like the holidays are over, but you still don't want to leave your fucking house. So we picked 2 winter isolation horror movies. That's right. You guessed it. Tonight, it's The Thing.
I don't think they can guess it. It's on, like they clicked on it. You guessed it after seeing it.
They're like, it's La Bamba versus That Thing You Do.
Oh, my God. No, it'd be La Bamba versus Great Balls of Fire, if anything.
All right, that's fair. But instead, we're doing The Thing versus The Shining in The Thingening.
The Thingening. It's the thickening agent. Flower.
Well, let me tell you something. There's no flowers growing in these movies because they're taking place in the dead of winter.
That's right.
In the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Very scary. Aliens versus specters. Paranoia versus a different kind of paranoia.
Although that sounds like it could be a battle. Aliens versus Spectre?
Yeah.
The
hey,
007 movie?
Take a listen, Ridley Scott. Making those Alien versus Predator movies. I actually don't think he made any of those.
It should be Aliens versus James Bond. Like, how has there not been an Alien James Bond movie yet? Right? Like, they've, like, think about all the things James Bond has done. action. Yeah,
I really thought you were gonna say like romance or
no. There's no romance. He's a skank. James Bond is a total slut, and that's fine in today's society.
Right.
You can do that. That's fine. He can be
he's like
polyamorous.
James Dean, not the rebel without a cause. James Deen, the porn star. He just comes in and he is like, "Oh, thank you," or he didn't say thank you. He's like, "Oh, that was good. Bye."
Oh, wait. Oh, my God. What if James Bond was like Doctor Who? You know, like
Dr.
Sean
Bond.
Connery becomes Roger Daltrey, and then he becomes the guy who came after him, Timothy Dalton.
So now I hate all three of them because I hate Timothy Dalton.
What?
Least favorite Bond.
How about John Carpenter being able to make a movie without any production interference?
Yeah,
The Thing.
Let's get right into it. The Thing.
The Thing. We're going to talk about that one first because I said something about John Carpenter or whatever.
Yeah, it is interesting that in a movie where everyone is getting their stuff messed with by an unknowable foe,
like in Poltergeist,
that John Carpenter was able to make this movie without anyone messing it up. Shifting his shape, changing his
mind.
I'm trying. I'm stretching it.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be a yoga master here. Stretch it as far as it can go.
You're about 2 or 3 examples ahead of what you needed to be. Everybody knows this movie. It's a classic horror movie.
Seen it, you're missing out.
You really are. No, yeah. I mean, I would go on. I'd love to actually put Carpenter's movies in order from best to not so great. The not so great would be easy, but the best would be a little challenging. However, I don't know. I think The Thing is probably definitely top 3 in my personal Carpentering. Not top 3 all time. I mean, top 3 Carpenter movies.
You know, John Carpenter, they named him that because they named him after Jesus, because Jesus was a carpenter. And so they were like, we want our son to be named Jesus. That's how that translates. John is actually like the English version of Jesus. John is J, and Carpenter is Zus. So Jesus is John Carpenter.
Well, yeah, because like back then they didn't have a word for carpenter. They just said, "Oh, you need somebody to make you some cabinets? Well, Jesus can help you out with that." And then like that became like Caligula with him, where they were like, "Hey, do you need a
Caligula with him?"
Where like in like the 1500s, they're like, "Oh man, we need something on the walls that can have stuff that we put in it." And they're like, "Oh, you need a Jesus to come over and make you some shelves."
Well, let me tell you something. He really must have been a carpenter because he nailed this movie. Am I right?
Oh,
also his initials are JC. Jesus Christ, John
Superstar.
Carpenter.
John Carpenter Superstar.
John Carpenter Superstar. So the Thing is about a shape-shifting monster alien that assimilates with you and looks just like you, and then like you kill your friends.
Right. Which I think is interesting because there were no mirrors in this movie. Come on, Carpenter. Missed opportunity, all right?
What? You want to try that again?
No.
But
missed opportunity.
Maybe he was holding a mirror up to society. Saying like, look, when you go out and you don't partake of the holy sepulcher, the Holy Communion, you become mean to your friends and sabotage them from their important science.
With all of this science and religion talk, it sounds like we're talking about Prince of Darkness, and that's not what we're talking about.
I've not even seen Prince of Darkness.
Oh, well,
I saw Prince of Egypt. That is a religious movie. Yeah. It's about Moses. Let me tell you the greatest story ever told.
Oh, please.
Hey, this movie had everything. Kurt Russell. That's all you need.
It had everything. It had Kurt Russell. It had dogs. It had snow.
Oh, poor doggies.
Oh, yeah.
Doggy death.
Doggy death, but not real doggy deaths. They were like here's the deal. Like it's a tough scene to watch when the dogs are all being all thinged out and stuff. But like, but I think like for me, and especially because when this came out, they used practical effects, and although the practical effects are amazing, it's clear that it's a practical effect.
Sure.
You know, and not in an offensive way, because I do not like hyper-realistic stuff, particularly hyper-realistic violence in movies. And so when it cut to the dogs that were like, oh, this dog is being torn apart
by Spider Dog.
It's like, oh, that's a puppet. It's fine. Like mentally, it's not as taxing. However, when it sprays its fragrance or whatever that is, it sprays through its little tendrils, the fire hose.
Fragrance. Yeah, the beginning of this movie was actually an ad
that you tore out of a magazine.
Yeah, and rubbed on yourself to see if anyone would fuck you if you smelled like it. Spoiler alert. No, they did
essence
not.
Of thing.
Yeah.
It
was called like Le
Thang.
What is French for the thing?
Well, you would just say l'object. L'objet.
Logic? Loge? Lodge?
No, like object. You would.
Loge. Oh,
Yeah.
l'objet.
L'objet.
L'objet. Oh, de l'objet.
The commercial would just show like that beautiful white, like snowy landscape, and it would be like going, and you'd hear that boom, 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 and then you would see the helicopter sweep by, and then the snow would kind of sweep up, and then go, l'objet.
And then he's shooting at the dog.
Yeah. A flamethrower would melt the fucking product. All right. Anyway, spraying that all over the dog, that's the only part that like, concern, because it's like a real dog being sprayed by probably like some kind of water.
Yeah, these practical effects are very Cronenberg-esque.
Oh, yeah.
In this movie, I know that I go back and forth whether I consider it body horror or not, because it's, I guess it is body horror because something takes over your body, but I think of it more as an invasion movie, I guess. But I think that, I guess there is like a little bit of both.
Yeah, there's definitely some body horror in it, but it's because of the nature of it being alien-esque and shapeshiftery, it's not like as like full frontal, if you will, body horror that you would expect from Cronenberg, because I think specifically body horror comes from specifically when you're describing human body horror, where it's like, my titties are becoming big.
Oh, that's wait, hang on. You just went from body horror to body happy.
Oh, you never saw that movie? I don't remember what movie it was where the lady wanted like big tits and a big ass, and the devil was like, all right, here you go. But then she became only tits and ass, and she melted into a goop.
You and I watch very different kinds of porn.
Yeah, I watch the good stuff, and you watch the normal dumb stuff. Oh, I put my penis in you? Easy. No, I want to see...
Anyone can do that.
Yeah, not everyone can grow large breasts and a big ass and become a milky goop on the floor.
Oh, my God.
With a little tiny face of a lady going, help me!
This movie, by the way, starts with a UFO coming to Earth, and I feel like we could have completely done without that, because it turns out that was like 100,000 years in the past.
Yeah,
I would have liked it to just start with the Norwegians chasing the dog, and they're shooting after it, and they land their helicopter, and the Norwegian guy that's shooting at the dog pulls out a grenade and then literally just like drops it like, oh, whoopsie, or however Norwegian people say oops. They're like, oh, geschleisten. That's German.
What is happening?
Oh, look out, my friends, in their helicopter, and then it blows the helicopter up, and this dog's like, man, he's real stupid. And then in Norwegian, he's yelling out, it's not a dog, it's not the dog, you filthy Americans.
Well,
or
to be
whatever.
clear, we don't know that he's saying that.
Right,
But he literally is
that's
saying
a little Easter egg because it doesn't say it in the subtitles. Nothing. He's just saying it in Norwegian. And John McReady, played by Kurt
John
Russell.
McClane.
John McClane McReady. McClane's his middle name.
McRussell.
Played by Kurt McRussell.
Yeah.
Is like, I don't understand a word you're saying over there in that Norwegian language. Now, give me that dog. He's our friend.
Yep, that is a spot on impersonation.
Yeah, I'm very good at impersonating.
He's so good. Here, quick, do an impersonation of the dog now. What the dog said after he got shot at.
Please, sir, these men are shooting at me, and I just need the place to...
He's a German Shepherd.
I just need a place
He wasn't.
to stay. He was.
Was he?
Oh, no, he was a husky.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Well, there can be German...
Oh, yeah, he was Siberian. I'm not doing that accent.
Missed opportunity to have a German Shepherd in there to have a little political jab, because it's like, oh, the Norwegians are shooting at the Germans just like they did in the 80s, where
Kurt
it was like...
McReady could be like, typical.
But yeah, when Norwegia like tried to invade Germa.
Whoa. Whoa.
And they were like, hey, you can't invade us because there's a Berlin Wall or something. When did this movie come out? Anyway.
Man, they just invade us because they hate us, you know? Yep, that's accurate.
So yeah, dog gets totally rescued by everyone, but oh my God, maybe they rescued the enemy because the dog is like, fuck you guys, got mine. And he totally takes over the dogs. He's like, yo, dogs, come on.
Starts.
Let's become dogs together. And then he has alien arms and tries to, you know, he pulls through the floorboards.
A dog spider thing.
Yeah. And McDonald's was like, no, sir. And he's like, hey, Cholds, can you go get the flamethrower?
Child.
Keith David, can you get the flamethrower so I can kill this dog?
And Keith David's like, I went from being the president on Rick and Morty to
Wait, he went
in
what?
the future.
The future.
I love Keith David. I love Keith David in Something About Mary. Anyway, he's very funny. But
And They Live.
He was not funny in this. Oh yeah, and They Live. That's right. With the longest
Carpenter.
fight scene.
The most annoying. Like, okay,
Roddy fight.
people will say like, "Oh my God, that fight scene is awesome because it's funny or it's great." No, it's neither.
terrible.
It's awful and it's fucking
lasts for 80 years.
like
dude.
the first time I saw They Live, I was just so over that fight. Like 5 minutes in, because it's like a 10-minute or 15 or 100-minute fight, and there's even a moment in the fight where you think it's over because they're like, you know, panting and like they're like Keith David's like leaning against the wall, and then Roddy Piper like kind of slowly walks up to him because he's like, and then he fucking like punches him in the face, and it's like, oh God, there's another 5 minutes of this. And they're like bleeding, and oh God, it's rough. Anyway,
so the alien doesn't realize, gosh dang, it's going to take a long time to assimilate all these doggies into my being. So, humans catch me and they flame me.
Oopsie.
But then they talked to dog keeper guy and they were like, "Oh, how long were you alone with Scary Dog?" And he was like, he's just been roaming around the place for like the last 18 hours, whatever.
He literally
assimilating.
He like, you know, he just kind of was licking everybody and biting them and like putting fluids on their mouth.
He was just putting his little weird spider legs on everybody. And
totally normal dog stuff.
You'd hear the cosmic whisper in your head that you know couldn't be coming from an outside influence, but you hear it through your head as if spoken to you from a dead god that says, I will be taking over this entire operation with my alien force. I don't think that means anything, though. I mean, you know dogs, they're weird.
And then, of course, like, you know, after he's done talking, he realizes everybody has walked away like hours ago.
He's just saying that, where'd y'all go?
Wait, what's happening? Oh, everyone's dead. Oh, I'm dead, too. Everyone's good. I love that they brought... Okay, so they went to the Norwegia place camp, the Norwegia camp, and the Norwegian camp. Sorry, and first off, like, this is brilliant direction. Amazing example of show don't tell. And we did a review on Alien versus Predator. You may not know about that because it's secretly hidden in an episode called Morbius. Sorry, guys, but whatever. That was an April Fool's joke. Who cares? But check that out because like something similar to that happens where they go into this mysterious place, but everybody's talking out loud and saying what they're seeing and going, oh, this must be because of this, or oh, look, this. But in this, there's just so much mystery.
Yeah.
Because the characters, and this is the thing, like we, the audience, don't know what's going on, and they don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's better that we're all in the dark together because then you feel more invested to find out why. So they go in there and they see like icicle blood or bloodscicles.
The Bloodscicles. Listen.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I went to Trader Joe's the other day.
Oh, whoa, fancy. Jeez.
And let me tell you something. Their freezer section was half cleaned out. This is true. And I imagine that had to be because there was a run on Bloodscicles. Because,
a run.
Listen, people go to Trader Joe's. Why do they buy kale? Full of iron. It's good for your blood.
And blood also has iron.
Why do they buy samosas that are frozen? They're delicious. Bloodscicles, we're combining both, all right? They are available in one tasty flavor.
Blood.
It's a mystery flavor.
Mystery Alaska. Speaking of Alaska, well, this was Antarctica. Wait, it was Antarctica, right? Where they
Antastica. Yeah.
Antastica.
Antastica.
Fantastica. And they're there and they're just like, yeah, why do these guys freak out? What a bunch of losers. Like, I know, there's no like, porno out here or, Victoria Silvstedt Playmate of the Year.
Doesn't mean you need to slit your throat and your wrist and then walk to the chair and sit down, leaving a trail of blood.
Yeah. Like, this guy, according to how it looks, he's like, oh, I'm going to slit my wrist. And then he thought, oh, shit, I'm getting real tired. I need to go sit in the captain's chair, slit my other wrist. And then he had the strength to not just slit his throat. He like cut part of his head off.
It was like halfway, like barely hanging on.
And still had the strength to hold on to the razor as he bled out. Because it was still in his hand. But I liked how destroyed the place was. There's like holes in the walls, and then they see like, oh, here's this block of ice
made into a bathtub.
Yeah, made into a bathtub. They're like, oh, gee, that's one way to have a jacuzzi.
Am I right, folks? And they look at the camera.
or they could have looked into there and went, oh man, they must have had an Encino Man in here or something. And then later, I know this takes place a few scenes later, but they eventually discover the big spaceship or the excavation, and it's like, it's a beautiful matte painting.
And one of them's like, man, I wonder if this has anything to do with the weird stuff that's been going on.
Or was this another camp?
Yeah, and then the other one says, there's no way to tell.
Without any documentation.
We didn't get fingerprints. We didn't get spider prints.
This could just be an unrelated campsite.
Hey, do you think spiders leave spider prints? Like fingerprints? Like,
oh yeah, Peter
like
Parker
who
does.
done it? And you're like, I know this is Tommy Tarantula's boys.
This is Tommy Tarantula and his partner.
You can't pin this on me, Dick, because he's a detective.
Oh yeah, exactly. But he also happens to be like a superhero who is made of dicks.
Oh my god! And you're, as a spider, your cigar is like a tiny little fly wrapped in spider web. That's so stupid.
It really is. But Teddy Tarantula couldn't have done it without Fatty Longhands. All right. Instead of Daddy Longlegs.
Oh, I got it.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, come on, give me a fucking pity laugh. Jeez, like, God. The audience is not going to know.
Well, I don't know what to say, McReady. You smell delicious like a double cheeseburger, but this spaceship doesn't give us any clues. We just...
Quick, let's go back to the camp and see if anyone's turned into monster.
How did he come up with that? So he does the blood test of everyone individually where he heats up
Oh, what? See, he got the idea because when Spiderhead, speaking of spiders, comes
This
off
is before
of the corpse.
Spiderhead.
No. This is after Spiderhead. This is how he got the idea. Because remember, this is before Dr. Copperhead or whatever his name is dies, and he
I
gets
really
his
hope you guys have
arms.
seen this movie.
He gets no. This is true because Dr. Copperhands puts his hands. They get cut off, and then they got a special actor with no arms to wear a mask of the guy, literally for that 1 second cut.
I can't tell if you're kidding. They really
Yeah.
Oh, that's
because after his arms get eaten by the thing's stomach or whatever, he has his arms up and he's like, and then there's blood everywhere. And it's like literally 1 second. They hired a guy, put a prosthetic on him, makeup and everything just for that shot.
Wow.
Because
commitment to practical effects.
yeah, well, and that's the thing with John Carpenter in general, especially with a lot of his movies that require effects, is that he loves effects to happen in camera, which we'll talk about in a second when they do the blood test, because there's a lot of that going on in this movie in general,
sure.
where it's like, because when you cut to the effect, that's kind of cheap, but it's like, no, the effect is happening in camera. It's like, oh shit, that's fucking rad. But yeah, after he gets his arms cut off and the head separates itself, that's when McDonald's Happy Value Meal gets the idea that like, oh, that's how the biological nature of this thing works, is that it will separate itself and become alive separately. So you might say it's kind of a stretch for a guy who's not a doctor to come.
They're
to
all
It should have been.
scientists,
Well, it should have been Blair.
Or no, he was a pilot, actually.
He was a pilot. Yeah, it should have been Blair or Dr. Copper to make that conclusion. But it's fine. They're
He's a
streamlining
science
it.
pilot.
He's a science pilot. Yeah, he works on. He dissects helicopters.
I don't want to dissect a helicopter. It creeps me out.
You'll do it if you want to get an A in this class.
It's because the helicopter was murdered, but they need to see if there's foul play or not. So they need to
I'd love to see a chalk outline of a helicopter. It's gigantic.
Wait, nobody touch anything in this room. This helicopter was murdered. I suspect foul play.
So that's actually a perfect segue to the blood testing scene, and one of the big things I wanted to mention about this movie, which is that it's not just a sci-fi horror movie, which it is, but the end. No, that it in places it feels like a whodunit, because when they learn that the thing can perfectly replicate whoever it assimilates with, then they're like, we have no idea who has been changed and who is not. And there's a lot of like kind of misdirects onto like people acting nervous, because they would be nervous in that situation.
Oh yeah, everyone.
And like you would maybe even be like, I don't know if I've been assimilated, to this mamma jamma. And so I love that this movie, that John Carpenter is such a master of tension in this movie.
Oh, absolutely. And, as a side note, I'm surprised there's not or there could be, I don't fucking know, but there could be like a...
that describes this whole show pretty well.
I don't know. Because like we don't look up every possible... When you say whodunit, I'm thinking, oh, that's really cool. Why didn't they make like a Clue board game of the thing? And it's like, oh, who's the thing? Is it Colonel Mustard or is it Professor Man?
Because once you get assimilated, everyone will see it.
No, they won't. Not in the game board game.
Oh no! Hey, you got to stop, or we got to send this podcast to ourselves.
We gotta mail this podcast to ourselves. Don't do it. No, but speaking to the whodunit in the scene, because this is the scene that gets replicated.
Defined a nation.
Yeah, and defined a nation. Yep. In fact, we put this scene on a gold record and sent it into space. So that when the thing finds it, they go, "Oh my god, I'm in a movie!"
And he does the Macaulay Culkin.
Oh my god! No, but like in this scene, and again, like the masterfulness of taking the time to cut into all of these different angles in this scene, because to heighten the tension. The audience is never clued in on like, oh, we're going to tip our hand and give you a clue that like, oh, it might be this guy. No, everyone has the same close up and they're all paid attention to at the same amount of time, which kind of further makes you second guess yourself. And then he tests Windows first.
Windows 95.
Windows 95, aka Bill Gates. And he's like, okay, you're fine. Put on that flamethrower. In fact, I was surprised he didn't say, aim that flamethrower at me, just in case I test my blood and I don't know that I'm the thing or not.
No, because he was cocky. He was like,
oh, yeah.
When he tested his own blood, he goes, now I'm going to show you fucks what I already know. And yeah, that's right, bitches. I'm not a thing.
He should have, after it went, he should have, dropped it on the floor and went bitch, I'm out. And then he gets in the helicopter and flies away.
He starts crip walking, fucking
moonwalking and shit, fucking bitch. He gets in that, the deputy guy's face. He's like, what'd you think now, bitch? Because he was the most paranoid. And the way they shoot that specifically, to really throw you off, there's a two-pronged attack with this. They show him testing the blood in 2 or 3 different ways. I think when he tests Windows, the Petri dish was just on the table.
Yeah.
And then when he tests himself, he does it in his hand.
Because he was still holding the flame. Well, I guess he was the whole time.
Yeah. But when he tests himself and says, "I'm going to show you what I already know," he he has it in his hand, but the way it's framed is you could see his arm in his hand. He's actually doing it. And then when he tests Mr. Tied to a Chair guy, number 1, he's also holding it in his real hand. But then when he tests Clark, who's dead on the table, he's using a fake hand. And you can tell if you pause
He's not dead. No, Clark's not dead on the table.
Yeah, Clark the dog man and Dr. No Hands.
He was testing an alive man. He was
he was testing the dead guys too to make sure they were.
Oh yeah.
Because they could come back to life.
Sorry, yes.
And when he tests Clark, and it's he's not. He's just a dog man. He's not a thing man.
And just to be nice, just to give him a little send off, he goes, "Your blood, it's a butte, Clark." Anyway,
fuck you. Speaking of Christmas, now that already happened. Now, and him dying already happened. Now, and then Choles is like, killed an innocent man, and of course, slick back sunglasses wearing Kurt Russell is like, I don't give no fuck.
He doesn't wear sunglasses.
No, but in his head.
Oh, he just has the aura of someone who is wearing sunglasses
because he doesn't respond to it, but he's like, bitch.
I'm in control.
He was going to kill me, and that means I'm the hero.
I'm the man of the house.
I killed the guy who loves dogs. That makes me the hero. Don't you hate dogs? I did everyone a favor by killing the guy who was raising those dogs since they were pups. But he has the fake hand when he's doing that, and it's like, oh, nothing. Because it gives the audience this false sense of security, like, oh yeah, that hand is his hand and not totally a prop. And then he says to the guy, Mr. Deputy...
This movie's also 40 years old, so...
Deputy Nervous Hands is all like, this is pointless, you're so stupid, I hate you, I'm gonna fucking kill you in your sleep. You stupid bitch! Being a total chold. And then he says, hey, you're the guy who was in charge of the blood, and you're probably the thing, and I hate you, and I hope you die, and I hope your wife leaves you. He says all that in the director's cut.
And then in the regular cut, it's implied, in the look he's giving him. He's
because he shoots him that look.
He's cucking him with his stare. Just drink my sperm, you fucking bitch.
Just an eyebrow raise is pow. Yeah. And he's like, we'll do you last. And so
and by that he was prison, saying you're gonna watch us fuck all these other dudes in the ass, and then guess what? Your sweet punch hole is coming up last, baby. And
you're gonna enjoy it because, hey, dude, when's the last time you were feeling warm, right? And you know what I mean by
warm? And he
warm?
actually kind of gives them a coquettish smile, oh, I mean, I thought you were just testing my blood.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know you were gonna tickle my prostate.
He had the Hello Kitty umbrella, and he goes, ooh. That all happens with just him looking
It's a
at
very weird John Carpenter movie.
It's all intended. It's not literal, guys. But he says,
Oh, inferred, you mean?
no.
Oh, it's just he intended to put it in the movie and didn't? Or
Yes.
he wrote it in the script and he's like, no, we're not going to shoot this. Just that's your motivation.
Right, yeah. And then they're like, I don't know how to act that. So I'm just going to look at him sternly. And he's like, yeah, that's it.
Perfect.
And then John Carpenter goes back to his 14th carton of cigarettes that day. Because he smokes a lot. That's why he looks like a skeleton.
I thought it was just all the horror.
In fact, the way John Carpenter looks now, I mean, he's looked like that for the past 50 years, guys, just so you know.
He's preserved.
I don't think, he's like Steve Martin. He's never not had white hair.
He looks so much worse than Steve Martin.
Oh, he does. He looks like a legitimate ghoul.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's become what he set out to create or something.
Exactly. Like in the movie Memoirs of an Invisible Man.
Oh,
He's the Invisible Man.
You were going to say Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Guy.
No,
He's
it's
just the same.
Dr. Jekyll, let's say that right, and Mr. Guy. Shaquille O'Neal.
Dr. Shaquille O'Neal and Mr. Guy. Oh, I better not drink this chemical. It might make me bad at basketball.
No, it's
oh, wait, I'm already bad at throwing free throws, so it just makes me the same guy.
But you know what he's not bad at? Making raps and being a genie.
Well, here I am. I'm a genie guy, and I'm rapping to say that I'm real great.
See?
That was a real layup. Get it? Because he was bad at layups, too.
He just couldn't do anything with that crazy frame of his.
He seems like a sweetheart, though.
Does he?
I mean, I don't want him to hit me, so yeah.
Yeah, don't take a free shot at us, guy. You don't know what that is because you're a bad basketball.
I just listened to this podcast called Film Fights, and it made me very perturbed.
Very perturbed.
If I ever see those guys, I'm going to hit them.
I'm going to get my friend LeBron James to... Oh, he's not my friend? Who am I talking to?
You know, for a name like Magic, Mr. Johnson does not know many tricks.
That's his biggest trick of all.
The only trick he knows is how to make his AIDS disappear, because no one else is able to do that, but Magic's doing okay. He looks great.
Well, he's not making it disappear. He's just making it kind of subside.
That's okay. We'll take it. And a
good.
70% magic trick. 30% doctors.
Out of nowhere. No, so they're testing if
Yeah, sorry, there were no NBA stars in this movie. This is before the NBA existed.
No, you're wrong. I think Windows did a basketball charity thing on Celebrity Dance Off.
But he just get dunked on by dudes that were 8 feet taller.
You know,
than him.
on Celebrity, We're Still Dancing on Fox.
Oh my God, Jono. Why are we still doing Dancing with the Stars and not Dunking on the Stars, where you've got like famous celebrities and then you get real NBA players, like championship NBA players? You get the LA Lakers to dunk on like Mariah Carey or no, it would be someone more
No,
like...
you know what? No, actually, I see that title doing something else. Dunking on the Stars would be like they're at like a carnival and they're sitting on above a tank of water,
shit.
and then you like throw a ball to like. And like you have to know how to throw a ball.
Yeah.
That's really the whole game. Do you want to see Mariah Carey in a glitter dress fall into a tank of water? Dunking with Stars.
You're sitting there, you're having to like talk shit to Lil Jon, or Lil Jon's talking shit at you like, you can't dunk me, okay? Or whatever. And then you like dunk him, and then next up is like Charlie Sheen, and he's like, he's on drugs. You can't understand him.
You can't, yeah.
And you're
he
just
actually,
trying to dunk him.
He actually needs to be dunked because he's just like burning
to
hot.
wake him up. Yeah.
He's actually in a vat of coffee.
Oh my God. So you can combine like Celebrity Rehab with Dunking with the Stars, because it's like before their intervention, they get him hot from the pass out in their hotel.
Oh yeah, they don't even know they're above water. That's the extra surprise. They just think they're sitting on a pedestal, and they're just like, "Oh yes, I am great." And it's like, "You sure are."
They're passed out though from the drugs.
Oh yeah, the drugs.
Yeah, all of them.
The drugs that have taken them hold.
Yeah, drugs are a real bad the thing. transition.
They
back.
sure are. And there's a lot of drugs in the thing when they get Blair all doped up.
J&B Scotch. I mean, it is period appropriate, but come on, Kurt McDouble, you can do better than that.
No, he can't. He doesn't get a lot of money
right.
on this excavation. Excavation? That's an excavation that is a vacation.
Oh my God, newest influencer thing. Oh my gosh, guys, check out this
God.
trip. We're mining for cobalt so we can make iPhones.
We're mining for happiness. It's an excavation.
It's such a real experience. They beat the shit out of us when we're not working. All we get to eat is gruel. Oh my God, y'all, I'm losing some weight. Check out my profile.
Hashtag, ow. Stop. Okay, so the blood.
Yeah.
He oh yeah, and then he does it, and then the alien pops out because
It's very scary,
Yeah.
and it's not the guy you thought. It's Pot Man.
it's Palmer, motherfucking Grateful Dead fucking fan, who's all like, "Oh, groovy, man." It's not groovy. You're a monster. You're about to like eat Windows face, and he does. He opens his head and eats Windows
If
face.
I know one thing about Windows is that they are not made to be eaten.
Now, no. Well, I mean, unless you're trying to go for the Guinness Book of World Records of
Ooh.
eating the most glass.
Challenge.
That's a real thing. Who wants to beat
don't
that
think
record?
that's a real thing.
It is. I remember learning that in somewhere. At some point in somewhere.
Yeah, Windows gets eaten by Venus flytrap head or body
Who
guy.
like jumps onto the ceiling like, oh, is that a skill the thing can do? Is defy gravity?
It is. Yeah, it is defined when it's the dog. Remember, because he just goes up, spider time, up on the ceiling.
Well, because his
Spider-Man.
Oh wait, that's right, because the thing itself has probably visited other planets and assimilated other things, so it has all these fucking skills. It's like Quantum Leap. The thing is like Quantum Leap. It inhabits bodies and learns their skills.
I'm just hoping that the next leap is the next leap home.
Why haven't I assimilated? Because you gotta find true love. You gotta get Ruth Bader Ginsburg to find true love. But she did. Oh, I mean, you have to go to the next body then. Damn it.
Yeah, so then that's when Spiderhead happens.
No, Spiderhead happened. No, we already talked about this.
No,
Spider
that's
happened
when
before
Spiderhead
that.
happens.
Spider happened before that.
Well, there's a Spiderhead.
There's a
That's great.
Spiderhead because his head falls off the body because it escapes from it because it's like, oh, this body's burning up. I better get out of Dodge.
Oh, you know what? Chuck up the deuces, y'all. I'm bouncing out this bod.
And the head lands upside down. And then for some reason, even though there's already eyes on the head, eyes pop out of the head.
Oh, yeah, I love that. I love it so much. The head's upside down, and it puts out crab eyes.
When the head like walks out, it's almost like set up as a comedy shot because it just comes out from in the background, and then the characters turn around, and it's like, what the fuck? Oh, I would love to see that music.
Lifting up their hats.
No, I'd love to see that music edited to like when he lets loose the flamethrower and it's like dancing around. Like the little legs are just like flopping around.
Listen, I wouldn't ever really do this because I don't want to be cruel to even insects, but this movie did kind of make me want to like miniature have a version of this and see what a spider does. If they just go like,
Wait, flamethrow a spider?
Just cut that out. I won't do it.
I didn't think you would until now.
I'll let them out unless they're the size of half of my body.
There you go.
And they have the head of someone I know.
Of a friend that you
And
once
then has
knew.
eyes growing out of it.
Wait, so you're saying that if I became the thing and my body was on fire and my head came off my body and became another
I'd set you on fire.
Okay, well that's rude. I'm sure there's a
That's
cure.
rude.
I'm sure there's a cure for the
It's
thing.
for human.
You can at least save my head.
I'm saving humanity.
My head would be alive.
Well, that's the least useful part of you.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, no. So here's the thing that ruins the scene.
Okay.
Controversial,
Talk to me.
guys.
hear it.
I'm sorry, lovely spectators, but this is the worst part of any movie ever.
No,
Listen, they are a team of burly, beardy men who live in a house together because it's a reality show on
I'm
MTV.
turned on already.
Yeah. and they're in a cold place, and there's cold everywhere. Like they don't even know what it's like. And it's so cold, which means, oh shit, these buildings better be like not matchbook thin walls.
Oh yeah.
So when the butterfly trap thing, man,
The butterfly trap. When Venus flytrap
Venus flytrap butterfly guy
says like, feed me,
is
Seymour.
like, shit, I'm on fire. What do I do? Oh, I know, burst through this tiny paper thin wall. And it's like, that is almost comical because when he goes to the wall, they cut to the outside, and when he bursts through it, you can see like the way it snaps open. I don't know, it's just so funny to me.
Kurt McNuggets should have turned to the screen, to the camera, and been like, we gotta get that fixed.
Does anybody have any duct tape? Can we get red?
Shouldn't have made these walls out of corrugated cardboard, but we are on a budget. Folks.
Better get red green on the scene.
Wow, that is a reference right
That
there. That's
sure
a deep
is.
cut. Public access, anyone?
Yeah. He was great. I loved him.
No, that was terrible. He was just basically like, I'm mad. I'm walking through the wall.
I'm mad. Nothing's gonna stop me. Not this fucking wall made of wafer cookies.
Meanwhile, Wilford Brimley is out there. His character Blair, who Yosemite Sam'd all the computers when he found out that the thing, they lock him in they have a cabin. I don't know why they have this cabin.
You never see the cabin,
just in case. We have to quarantine someone out here where no bacteria
we'll
can
put
live.
him in the tool shed.
We'll put him in the fucking tool shed. And, what's in there? Oh, just the stuff to make a noose, a rope, and a rafter. And he's like, hey, guys, I'm totally better now. Just let me out of it.
I'm totally fine.
I'm fine.
You can trust me.
Sorry, I was just... I was feeling a little under the weather, but I'm totally not homicidal and crazy anymore now. So
homicidal?
I'm not. Get it, guys? See, I can still joke
I can still joke seriously. Like looks at him with the deep, piercing eyes that grow tentacles out of it.
But why do you have tentacles growing out of your eyes? Well,
these?
Oh, these old things. You finally noticed. I got them last week from Etsy.
Before the thing even appeared.
These guys, these things, they're gags. And he pulls out of him. He's like, see, I can pull them right out if I want.
All right, the glue is set in hard.
Well, it was worth it just to have this hilarious moment. Seriously, though, let me out. I'm very hungry for people food.
Seriously, let me out because like it is burning up in here. I don't know how that's possible. It's freezing and there's no heater.
Oh yeah, what I meant, I'm very cold.
I mean, I have a passion for being around you guys. I know people call me Blair, but you may as well call me Blur because I never get to see you guys. Wait, and then McDonald's is like, wait, what?
And then McDouble with cheese is like, when I left my cabin, because I also have an external cabin, I turned the light off, and now the light's on. So that means monsters.
Guess what? Monsters, guys. Monsters, Inc. in my closet. All right, come on, McLeod. Let's go to my closet and check it out. Yeah. All right, so anyway, we all know how the movie ends, all right? It ends with
Keith Richards and McDouble.
Keith Richards and McBig Mac is sitting in the ground of the blowed up place. And they're both like,
You're the thing.
You're like, you're probably the thing, right? And the other one's like, I mean, you're probably the thing, though.
Wouldn't that be funny if after like the movie ends, then the reveal is that one of them's the thing and the other one's like, oh, thank God, I'm the thing too. And the thing comes out and they like spider fight.
A tentacle fight.
Oh, we're totally going to take on this planet and let another 100,000 years.
Wait, you're the Thing too? What a coincidence.
We're the Things.
Wow, did we call each other? And I know everybody's like freaking out, like, oh, you can tell it's fucking Cholds. He's totally the Thing because he doesn't have a breath. First off, he does. It's just the lighting is weird.
Yeah.
And they can be like, oh, well, it's because he has the light flashes in his eye. No, you could see they're there and just in one shot, and the other shots is not because of the lighting. And then you can be like, oh, because the J&B Scotch bottle was filled with actually like gasoline or whatever because he was burning the place down. Never established, actually.
Also, he obviously had more than one bottle of J&B Scotch there.
Yeah. They're both or neither. It doesn't matter because, I like the idea of not knowing. That to me, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't like when movies are open-ended for the sake of being open-ended because that's fucking annoying.
Right.
Whereas here, I think it's brilliant because it's like you're fucked either way. Like, because if they're both not the Thing, they're both gonna die of overexposure because it's fucking freezing and there's no the building's fucked up. All the buildings are fucked. And so both endings are fun for me because it's like oddly enough, the satisfying ending is that, oh, they just both die, but at least the Thing was stopped, which we can't even confirm that. But seriously, where did Cholds go? Like, it's very suspect that he's the Thing, clearly. So everyone shut the fuck up. Cholds is the Thing, and everybody dies.
He died too, though.
What?
Speaking of isolating yourself in cold, like Mr. Chold, here we are at the Stanley or the it's overlooking the movie,
Stanley,
right?
What is it called? You just
I can't remember which one's
said
real life
nearly
and
the
which
whole word.
The Stanverlook Hotel.
You know that superhero has all the power. Superman. What's his name?
Well, look, I can't remember which one is the hotel that it's based on and which one is the name of the hotel in the movie.
How could you be confused with that unless you visited it in person?
What? How about this? We're going to call it Scary Place. So
okay, Scary Place.
There's a big scary place in The Shining, and Jack Nicholson comes in and he's ready for his interview, reading his Playgirl magazine. He's an alcoholic recovering, unlike Jono and I. We're not recovering at all. We're heavy in it.
We're heavy in it and proud.
Yeah, that's right. Alcoholic pride.
Because some people have a disease and they're like, what are you going to do? I got to say that I'm good at it.
Let me ask you something.
Ask me away.
Did Kareem Abdul-Jabbar have a disease of being too good at basketball? Because that's like the kind of relationship I have with alcohol.
Well, I mean, that's basketbitis. So.
Well, let's just say I have basketbitis of the alcohol. It's called alcoholism.
It's called cirrhosis of the liver. Parentheses.
It's called good thing I don't have children.
And see, that's the thing is that, hey, just so you guys know, if you plan on not having children, you can do whatever you... Don't worry about your jeans and your
I wear whatever
shirts.
jeans I want.
Yeah, why do we both go to the same place and neither of it's funny?
So there we are. Jack Nicholson's like, hey, I'm here for the Shining job.
Oh my God, you finally get to do a Jack Nicholson impersonation.
I know. I was thinking about that the whole time I was watching this movie. I was like, oh my God, my go-to impression for every male that's a killer gets to be fully realized.
Don't blow it.
Don't blow it, which I just did by blowing my wad on that first one. But Jack Nicholson shows up and they're like, oh, Mr. Torrance, welcome to the office. We would like you to be hotel man. And he says, well, that would suit me just fine.
Yeah,
my family loves being stranded for 6 months at a time. I'm kidding, but he, in so many words, he says that they're like, so, here, you're going to be isolated for 5 months and no communication. It's Barack Obama.
Yeah.
No communication with the outside world. It's going to be It's gonna be weird.
Gonna be a horror show.
Gonna need no one goes skiing because it's too expensive to keep the roads clear. And he's like, well, that's just fine with me. My family loves being cooped up together in a creepy hotel.
It really reflects on how actual job interviews go, where you're just like, yeah,
100%.
absolutely. I
couldn't agree with you more.
Yes to everything you're saying, even though it's crazy.
Yeah, they're like, well, we're gonna pay you one dirty paper clip per semester. And you're like, semester? And they're like, semester.
I like that. Mr. Man, office man, is like. No, he's like almost trying to dissuade him to take the job because he says,
yeah,
you're going to be isolated. You're going to go cuckoo bananas. He's like, oh, I love going cuckoo bananas. And he's like, well, what about your family? Your family? Oh, they are crazy already.
You can already tell he's an abusive character because he's like, they better love it.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna. No, he doesn't say that. But he says
he's gritting behind.
They're gonna love it, or else I'm gonna kill them. Oh, with kindness, I'm gonna love on them until they just can't get enough of this place.
Well, I mean, I think you and I have established on this brilliant show that we are the masters of discerning the intention. Right? The body language. And so, like, yeah, when he's smiling saying, he's actually saying, I'm going to kill my family. Don't worry.
To be fair, I don't have kids, but I imagine he's like, oh, yeah, I mean, like, I want the job, but I'm definitely going to murder both of them being alone with them.
Because my success is the most, it's the times... What was this, 1977, 85?
1980.
Well, it doesn't matter. 77 through 85, that was the goal of men, whether they were single or married.
To kill their family?
No, it's like, I want to be successful, and if I have to murder my family, I will do so.
Yeah.
And the guy, Mr. Man, is like, not only is like, oh my God, you're going to go cuckoo bananas. Your family's going to hate you. You're going to kill them. He was like, well, let me tell you, the guy before you killed everybody, whoever existed.
The funny thing about that is, so it was a few years ago, he said, so like...
well, he said 1970, I think, or something?
Yeah, so like, have they not had a winter caretaker, or does the Overlook only, like, take specific scary men souls? But he literally says, now, I don't want to be melodramatic. So I just, like, I feel like they should have taken it all the way and had him be like, yeah, man, it's super chill here. It's just like, look, I don't want to be like melodramatic, but, a few years ago, this guy, he was doing your exact job, and he had his family here for the exact same amount of time. And it's so crazy, just randomly. It just so happened.
He was so normal.
He was totally normal. And it had nothing to do with this play. You know what? No, he was crazy. He's not like you.
You know what? Never mind. I'm not going to finish the story.
And then Jack Nicholson Torrance is like, I'm intrigued. And then he's like, oh, well, he murdered his family with an axe. That's... Now, a lot of that is jokes, but that is the line from the movie.
Oh,
he murdered his family with an axe.
And then, of course, because Jack McMahon is like, hey, I want this job, he's like, well, that's not going to happen to me, even though in the back of the head, it's like, oh, shit, you just planted the seed and it's going to sprout.
Right. Oh, shit, this is a family-killing business. He's like... Yeah, he said it like he might as well have followed it up like, I don't know, he... murdered his family with an axe. Are you hungry? You want a California burrito? They got French fries right in the burrito. We can make those in the kitchen.
In this kitchen, which you will have all access to.
Oh my gosh, it's huge. Have you even seen it? And he's like, wait a minute, did you say murdered his whole family? Oh, no, I said California burrito.
No, I said California burrito. In this kitchen that's so huge, you could cook anything. You could put an entire family in the oven.
Well, that sounds just fine to me.
And what is that like? Like, can you imagine if this guy came to the lodge and everyone's murdered and they're just like, shit. Like, what happened?
Why does this keep happening? I gotta stop telling people the whole family will fit in the oven.
It's just so delicious.
I just don't know how else to describe that amount of space. I can't talk about it in square inches.
I blame the realtor.
It's one family's. Yeah, that's how the realtor described it to me. And said, I'm not a realtor. I'm just a guy.
Well, yeah, because the hotel was how Mr. Robert Redford wannabe man, office guy,
Robert Brownford.
Yeah, Bobo Brownford. The way he got the hotel when he took over, he was on one of those Lifetime, or not Lifetime, those HG, what is it?
Hallmark?
Hallmark, yeah. No.
HG, like the remaking the home?
Yes, he was on one of those
Extreme
shows.
Home Makeover.
Extreme Home. No, but it was specifically the show where it's like, we want to find your dream place.
Oh, what's your budget?
Yeah. And so he was like, well, I kind of want to run a hotel that's only open for 7 months out of the year so that I can rent out the rest of the year to some crazo family. And they're like, oh, we'll set you up with this ghost house that has murderous intent. Oh, that sounds great, but is it within my budget? Also, I'd like to be near the beach.
We want it to be secluded and cold, but also near the beach.
I want it to be really big, but I kind of like a good small closet.
I make parchment paper and my wife catches butterflies. Our budget is $18 billion.
She loves the salty air and I love the desert.
Salty desert. But so, yeah, he's like, well, this sounds like a fine job for me just to be crazy.
Let's roll that die.
Ooh, I like because it's a singular die.
That's right.
It's
yeah.
just one, because you can roll a d20 and it's one die.
Okay, don't over-explain it for the lovelies, okay? I mean,
I don't know how many of them play tabletop RPGs. I'm just telling them what kinds of dice there are. That makes sense because there are multiple kinds.
And multiple kills in the movie. That's right. Horror fest.
Actually, there are...
I love the guy who got bricked to death.
No.
Wait, were we watching
there are no kills in this movie.
No. Well, I mean, no, there was.
No.
Well, there was implied past tense kills.
Right. There's no one...
say, oh my God, dude, no, this is a slaughter fest. Because remember when he goes into the place and the ballroom is full of hundreds of people? All those people are dead, dude. We didn't see them.
Yeah, I mean, right.
They did. The past tense have died. They died.
Yep.
Years ago.
Everyone who celebrated the Declaration of Independence's signing is also dead. Yeah. Ooh.
Oh my God. Wait.
Just living in this country full of ghosts.
Are you telling me there's more people who are dead than are alive? Is that illegal?
So this is another this guy is. So then Scary Jack gets his family and is like,
yeah.
Come on, family, we're going to this totally normal place.
Pack your bag.
Pack your bag. And then they show up with 80,000 pounds of luggage. And they're taking a walk through and Bobbert Brownford is like, yeah, so this place is also, they say it's on an Indian burial ground. Over here is the maze. It's pretty great.
And then Craig T. Nelson comes in and goes, you built it on an Indian burial ground. You son of a bitch.
Yeah, and then they're like, when they're all snowed in, then what's her, I can't believe I'm blanking on her name. Wendy's calling. She's like, can we consult a Rubenstein here to get rid of these ghosties? Sorry, ma'am, the roads are closed due to duh. We knew this months ago, and literally they told Scary Jack, by the way, there's no leaving this place, ever.
But, I mean, if a ghost does bother you, just spray him with a little bottle of water.
Oh, yeah, Dick Halloran is right. He's shares with Danny, oh, you were also psychic? I'm psychic, too. These ghosts, don't worry about them. They're just, pesky. They're just more of an annoyance than anything.
Yeah, they're more of a Jamie Kennedy than they are
He literally says they're just pictures in a book cut to Scary Jack trying to murder him with an axe. He's like, he should have just stood there and been like, oh, this is just like pictures.
Oh,
in
you're
a
just
book.
pictures in you're just a pop-up. Oops, my head is gone. Wait, what? When did that happen? That's not like a book at all, Scatman Carruthers.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. We have to go back. I don't like to do this generally on the show, going backwards in the plot, but we have to.
Oh, really?
Because
That's more my expertise.
We do it. I just don't love it.
No, I do it all the time. You're
right,
just
and
like
I hate it.
You're like, no, Jono, we're in the third act. You're bringing up something that happened at the beginning.
When Scary Jack is at his interview at Scary Place.
Can you just call him Jack Hellington?
Jack Hellington. When Jack Hellington is talking to Bobbert Brownford.
Bobo Brownford.
And Bobo Brownford's like, oh, whatever. This is like a little scary.
Look, dude, don't worry about it.
Listen, don't freak out, okay?
You got to be too blessed to be stressed, or whatever they say, whatever the kids are saying in the future.
Wendy's is sitting
Dave
with
Thomas.
Wendy's is sitting with her son, the Baconator,
The Apollo boy.
Apollo boy Baconator, and they're eating sandwiches, and she's smoking a cigarette while eating. Look, I know you're all going to be like, different time. You know who else says that? Racists. Listen, smoking while you're eating is disgusting, just like racism.
I thought you were saying, you know who else smokes while they eat? Racist.
You know what? I'll throw that. If you smoke while you eat, racist.
Especially if it's white bread.
You know what? You may not be a racist, but I hope that makes you take a hard look at the way you're living.
Look,
eating and smoking at the same time.
I agree. I think it's disgusting.
I don't mean eating and then smoking.
No, that's different.
Concurrently, come on, dude.
Or even if you're like,
get your life together.
Even if you're like, you know what, I'm off the beaten path kind of person. I'm gonna smoke and then immediately eat my lunch. That's fine too. Now,
totally.
Yeah, but when you're actively smoking and eating at the same time, that's gross. Now,
like, what would offset or what would complement the flavor of this bologna sandwich or this peanut butter and jelly that they're eating? The taste of hot, sulfury nicotine.
Well, it could have been a menthol. She could have been adding to the flavor.
That's right. You like mint chocolate? Well, this is a chocolate sandwich.
I got my cools and I'm just eating bread. It's just bread and a cigarette. Those sandwiches were huge. Okay.
It was just fluffy Wonder Bread.
No, they were like giant sandwiches. Like
Texas toast.
That sandwich was as big as Danny's head. Okay, like he was eating his own head in front of me.
You know, we have Texas toast. They have Colorado bread. It's not toasted, but it's big and wide and white, just
and
like the state of Colorado.
Or Wyoming.
It's brown on the edges. I don't even know what that means. It's so stupid.
Well, it's brown on the edges because that's the, how you know it's not the states that are neighboring it.
Anyway, yeah.
Okay, so
Southwest.
And speaking of their home, there were stacks of books everywhere. Like, because the first time you see their home is that scene when they're eating sandwiches and eating cigarettes, and there's a bookshelf. There's 2 bookshelves behind them full of books, but there's also stacks everywhere. And then when you see their home again, they're watching TV. There's stacks of books on the TV. There's stacks of books on the ground. It's like, what is this? The opening scene of Ghostbusters?
Yeah, what do you think? You're better than me with all your books? Like, I read 2, all right?
Yeah, I read 2 Stanley Kubrick.
I read lots of subtitles on when I'm watching Home Improvement.
I know Stanley Kubrick's trying to tell us, like, oh, the moon landing was faked because can't you tell with all these stacked books everywhere? That means the government is stacked. Just like my secretary, she's stacked, and I kind of fiddle with her a little bit, but it's okay because it's back then times and nobody cares. Oh wait, people care? I'm dead.
And the point is, I'm the one that got booked to film the moon landing. That's why there's all those books. And then Danny's got that sweater later that says Apollo 11. That was the moon trip. Now, I know what you're saying. That would be too obvious. Right. I threw it in there because you'd see that and be like, oh, that's too obvious. So he clearly is saying, I didn't fake the moon landing just to throw off all the weak-minded sheeple. So they'd be like, nah, man, he wouldn't make it too obvious. I made it that obvious.
That's right. So fuck everybody who thinks that I'm wrong. Now fucking Shelley Duvall, you better do this fucking scene right now. He cracks the whip.
He was so mean to her on set. He kept her terrified the whole time, like wouldn't let her sleep. And
well, it's the same with Hitchcock and Janet Leigh.
Yeah, that's true.
But see, hey, if it wasn't for these maniacs who, broke some laws and degraded humans, I don't think we would have gotten the best movies that have been ever
Isn't that
made.
the same argument as far as slavery in the pyramids?
I mean, we got these beautiful pyramids.
Yes, these beautiful parapets of cinematic history at the cost of only a few human lives.
If you disagree with the way they ran things, then why don't you just demolition those fucking pyramids, man? Like, pull the trigger, okay?
I will say that, I don't know if Shelley knew what she was getting into or not.
She was a very tragic figure because,
really
even
was. Yeah.
even the first time at the first sign of Jack Hellington going nuts is when she comes in there and she's so sweet and she's so cute and she's just like, "Hey, I just want to see how you doing," and he's like, "Fuck off, bitch," and she's like, "Oh, okay. Well, maybe I can come back with some sandwiches."
Can't you see I'm working on my masterpiece in here? Hey, do I ever come and bother you when you're doing literally everything that I'm supposed to be doing in this hotel and taking care of our son by yourself in this job that I signed us up for with no input from you, and I'm a terrible partner? Oh, I'm actually seeing the error of my ways. I'm sorry. You want me to do the dishes or something? That's how it should have.
That's how the movie would be made now.
Right.
And it would be boring and no one would watch it. And he really needs to get that novel or whatever he's writing done. And
that he has no ideas for.
No, he has no ideas for. But because fucking Wendy keeps disturbing him with ideas of sandwiches that she doesn't even fucking make.
Just like a woman.
Just like a woman. Don't promise sandwiches. Just bring it. Their words, not ours.
Yeah. I don't think that's said. It's implied.
It's implied because as we've established, we're very good at knowing what implications are based on the body language and acting. And when he's ripping up the paper in her face and demeaning her, she's like, "Yep, my place is in the kitchen."
Oh, little Danny riding his trike.
I hate Danny. Okay, let's get this out of the way right now.
This is a hot take.
This is a hot take in a
cold
very
location.
cold location. You son of a bitch. How dare you know where I was going with that? I love you. No, but yeah, I do not like the actor playing Danny.
Yeah.
He's fine, by the way. I don't mean he's garbage. He's not Jake Lloyd. He's miles above Jake Lloyd. But he's just I don't like his voice or the way he looks or who he is.
Look, it's nothing personal. I just hate everything about him that makes him him.
For no reason.
Come on, it's simple.
It's easy. Everyone does it.
Everyone does it.
But particularly, and this has nothing to do with the actor, I just really don't like the Tony the Tiger finger puppet without the puppet.
This is a good
split
time
personality
to
bullshit.
address that.
Yeah, because it's creepy. And here's the thing. I think it's because of this, and this will be a separate diatribe, which I will try to make as short as possible by not saying it. No, but I feel like this started the whole if you get a child actor to just do something creepy, that equals the movie's creepy. And I'm not saying that that's what The Shining, I'm not at all. But I fucking hate the trope in horror movies in general where it's it's a child going, shh, or it's what he wants, or, oh, I'm dying of a ghost. I don't know, just little boy with Tony. Sorry, that was a little diatribe, which I diegetic very easily, and that is a real word. Now, Tony the Tiger is like, oh my God, I'm going to fuck your mom, or whatever he says.
She's great.
Yeah.
I'm going to frost her flakes. Kill logs.
Oh, God damn it. In fact, you talk. It's the Konrad show now, guys. I forfeit. There's nothing I can say that'll top that.
Yeah. So you're talking about Tony the Tiger in the Tony the Finger.
Tony the Finger.
Tony,
and he's like, Mrs. Torrance. And and he's doing his best, like I smoked for 1,000,000 years and now I have a robot in my throat.
I don't like that place, Mrs. Torrance. Now give me a fucking cigarette, you bitch.
Mrs. Torrance, do you want to sit on my face?
Jesus Christ.
Which, like, to him, it's actually my finger.
Oh, my God.
Sit and spin, Wendy. All right.
Oh, my God.
Hey, he said it.
Oh, he did? Tony?
Well, with his body.
Tony, not Danny, not Jono, said it?
No, with his body language. We mentioned this before. By him doing the finger, it meant, yeah, Mom, I want you on my hand. So Tony
is supposed to live in Danny's mouth, which is weird.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's not
Tony's
even
the man that lives in my mouth, but I move my finger when he talks. This is part of like this whole like the deviations from the book in this movie. In the book, it's a little more explained.
A little more. The 1,000-page novel.
Not much more. And actually, The Shining is, for Stephen King, relatively short. I feel like it's like 350, 400 pages.
It's too long.
It's not super long.
The point is we don't need Tony in the movie. Like,
correct.
I don't know if that was just because it was in the book or if it was like, again, like Kubrick unknowingly setting up this horrible trope of, oh, children are creepy.
He wasn't the first to do that, though.
No, he wasn't. But like, I feel like the movie didn't need it. They could have.
The Omen was.
They
really...
could have played up some other angle to make him creepy. The red rum works. That's fine. But him talking to his mom and saying Mrs. Torrance, maybe like I would go on and say The Shining is a completely timeless horror. You could watch it today
totally.
and still be scared. But to me, that at least halfway takes me out of it, where it's like, Mrs. Torrance. It just, and I don't know if it's just because that concept has been parodied to death by now, that when I watch it, it's like, oh, God, I can't. Because it's different than The Exorcist, because The Exorcist has been parodied too, but I could still watch that and see the head turn and the vomit and just be like, this is still scary.
Sure.
But yeah, the Mrs. Torrance, I hate it. I hate his voice and I hate the concept of that.
I think that you kind of are talking about the main problem with this movie. And again, we make fun of every movie, but I love this movie. It's a great film and there's a lot of great symbolism. Highly recommend the documentary Room 237.
Oh yeah, Room 237.
But this is one of those deviations from the book that makes it like it would almost be better if you just completely left it out than like half realized it.
Yeah.
Because half realizing it makes it just a confusing element. And so that's kind of unfortunately how the entire concept of Danny having The Shining is treated. It's kind of not ever really fully realized in this movie or explained. And I kind of almost would rather have had it left out.
Yeah, if they would have replaced all the Kill Tony bullshit, the Kill Tony bits, which were hilarious. No, if they replaced Tony and used that space to explore more of the Shine, because when he sees Scatman Carruthers and they have that tete-a-tete, literally, hey, you know how to talk in your head and I can hear it.
I also do.
I also do. And then that's the end of it.
And then he's like, well, if you need me, I'll be in fucking Miami on a hotel bed watching TV. So,
with a nude woman above the TV.
Right.
Like, which divides my attention constantly.
I know something horrible is going to happen to you, but Come on, man, I gotta live my life.
I gotta live my life, dude. Like, don't call me in the hours of 9 to 10.
And then Jack Torrance gets so frustrated by not finishing his novel in a week, tries to murder his whole family. No, so I definitely, if I address nothing else, I want to address the scene when Jack Torrance is mad at his son getting hurt.
And he says that he did it.
And it's said that he did it, even though he has done it before. And so he walks into the gold room where the bar is and sits down in an empty bar and has the exchange with Lloyd, the bartender, and starts drinking. Christopher Lloyd, and he's like, "It's you.
It's your you.
It's your you, Jack." And Jack's like, "What? Do I turn into an asshole or something?"
We've got to go back to the past when you were alive, I guess. He doesn't even know.
So that's another thing. Like this movie, like the timeline, it's very confusing. They're like, he's always here. He's part of the hotel. Anyway, it doesn't matter because I don't know what Stanley Kubrick was trying to prove with this movie other than he faked the moon landing. But Scary Jack is like, I'm going to drink some other Scary Jack, Daniels, even though I call it bourbon and he pours it for me and it's not fucking bourbon. But so he gets the Jack Daniels, even though it's been established that there's no alcohol in the hotel. And Jack's like, good, we're not drinkers. Wink. And then he starts, when he takes the first sip, he makes a face that is very like, it's very real. Like it looks like someone, he's acting like someone who's excited to have their first drink in 6 months. And then he makes a face that seems very accurate. And having known a bunch of addicts, present company excluded, like he acts exactly like a lot of addicts that I've known. And he's like, goes on these like kind of narcissistic, twisting the truth tales about his son and dislocating his shoulder. It's very cute. And
it's so cute, all the abuse.
But it's very real, and I thought that was just another great example of what an incredible actor Jack Nicholson is.
Oh my goodness!
And what an incredible choice he was. You know, problems with this movie aside, I love this movie, and man, he's just so perfect.
He is one of the most perfectly cast actors in a role. Like outside of, I mean, I would say another perfectly cast role, because we were just talking about The Thing, Kurt Russell in Big Trouble in Little China. Like, I can't imagine another actor in that time period, 85 or 86, of perfectly portraying. This is a guy who is not, he's established himself as a lead role and an action guy, and it's like, no, he's playing the fool who thinks he's the hero. And it's like, it's such a specific role. And like in this, it's the same thing where he's perfectly emoting that he's insane, batshit crazy, but up until the degree that the audience is buying it like, oh, this is really happening, or is it really happening? Like it's just so like really cool.
It's very confusing whether it's happening or not, and then he makes that
weird
that cum face at the end when he gets frozen.
Like at the end of it, I was like, it's so cool. Right? It's so confusing. I agree, Jono. It's really batshit crazy.
Well, I mean, it is cool and confusing.
No, it is exactly both. Yeah.
It's just like every girl I wanted to date in high school. They were cool and confusing.
They were cool. Well, I mean, that was a different time.
Yeah, they were a lot younger than they are now. Am I right? Wait, what?
Well, yeah, back then they were younger.
Because they were in high school, and now they're my wife.
So and this is why I get uptight about the Kill Tony thing, because I feel like it's stupid and dumb and pointless, because when they set up The Shine, that ends up being kind of pointless. Because when Man Carruthers comes over, he's all like, here I am to save the day. I'm a guy with the guy, and I have the brains that say, hey, you told me to come here, and I'm here, and I've got it, and I didn't bring any weapons. And then he gets a weapon in his chest.
That's right. Immediately.
Immediately.
The
Which
second he walks in the door.
which is like, well, like, I mean, in retrospect, kind of comical, but like,
super comical.
but also,
I laugh every time.
Well, especially because like I grew up on The Simpsons, I'm sure you have as well, and that's like my favorite Treehouse of Horror is the one where Groundskeeper Willie, he dies in all 3 segments, and one of them is the shitting, and he gets killed by the axe. So like even when I watch The Shining, I'm like, yep, Groundskeeper Willie got killed again.
Groundskeeper, pervert McHalloran.
Yeah. Okay, let's just talk about how Jack Torrance is the guy who's always been there, and it shows the painting, or I'm sorry, the photo, and it's like the painting of the photo.
It shows the Mona Lisa,
and Jack Torrance is like, "Hey, look at me! I'm taking a picture, and I'm 1920. I'm alive in the photo."
July 4th, 1921.
Yeah, and it's
which is the second year prohibition,
and it's also like
Isn't that weird? They were all drinking at the hotel.
In 1929?
1921.
1921?
Which was the second year prohibition. It started in 1920.
Oh, that is kind of interesting.
Well, it makes sense. I can't remember what author said it, but there was an author that said prohibition was better than no liquor at all because people were still drinking.
Yeah. And it's also
and they were very secluded up there, so I'm,
And it's also 1921. That's the 54th anniversary of Independence Day.
When do you think Independence Day was?
No,
1776.
77.
So no.
17 or no. Oh, it's like oh, never mind. It's 200 years. Okay. I was so hard.
It wasn't 200 years.
I was so hard on
That's not right either. 1976 was the bicentennial. This was 50. So it was of the 100 and somethingth year. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
No, it does, because Jack Torrance, I thought he was like 54 years old, and it was like, oh shit, he was born when the America happened.
I think that when we finish this episode, we're going to enroll you in a social studies class.
I know how to be social, you idiot. Oh, the ending. The whole reason Jack Norris is in the photo is because he actually died when that happened. He was the guy who died.
Who was the guy that died?
Jack
Nicholson?
Yeah, Jack Nicholson died.
The actor.
Yeah. Yeah. Kubrick found out that Jack Nicholson was a ghost and was like, oh, that'd be awesome.
We gotta kill that ghost.
I have to cast him as the guy because it's like extra.
Jack Nicholson gets to Scary Hotel and sits at the bar, and Lloyd gives him his drink and says, tonight you'll be visited by 3 spirits.
Jack Daniels.
Oh my God, wait a minute. He's visited by Grady, Scary Woman, and
Lloyd.
Well, but that's not that. Lloyd is like Jacob Marley in Christmas Carol, so there has to be 4 spirits total, and then the spirit of murder.
Well, the spirit of himself, because when he looked in the mirror, he goes, "It was me the whole time."
Tony. He was visited by the ghost.
He died in Danny's mouth.
Oh my God! Are you ready for this?
What?
Okay, so the ghost of Christmas past. The ghost of seclusion in the hotel past is Grady.
Yeah, that tracks.
The ghost of hotel seclusion present is Scary Lady.
Is melty
or
lady.
slash furry blowjob guy. And
no, fuck him.
The ghost of scary seclusion future is Red Rum Tony because he shows Danny the future. Bro, The Shining is a Christmas Carol. Fucking, I win.
You win. Boo!
It's the Shining thing.
It's so scary. Both of these movies had ghosts.
No, wait, no, they did not.
Yeah, they did.
There's no ghost in The Thing.
There was a lot of ghosting.
Kurt Egg McMuffin was like, I'm not answering Blair's text. He keeps just texting me, I'm fine, let me out of the cabin. And listen, guys, honestly, for real, I'm just going to leave him on red, dog. You know what I'm saying?
And they're like, we don't know what you're saying.
It's 1982.
So we've got isolation winter horror. And of course,
Right.
we're going to go top shelf with the introduction of this.
You know it?
The Thing and The Shining. Like, oh God, like how could one win over the other? And I know what you're thinking. One of them is better than the other.
Yeah.
But you don't know until we say it. And whatever we say
Canon.
will trump whatever you're saying because we're the winners of
That's
the
right.
film
Of
fights.
the film, always. Because no matter who wins and who loses, we win.
We win, yeah. Because
And you lose by just because you listen. No, you win.
No, you
We
still
lose.
win. We lose.
Hang on. You win by
on.
listening.
I swear, we wrote this equation on the whiteboard and we cued our cues.
Listen, okay, so they listen.
They listen, so they
We
win.
watch the movies.
We watch the movies.
We talk about it.
We talk about
we
it.
pick winners.
Yeah, we pick winners.
And then they hear-
that's what it is. We pick the winners, so everybody wins.
Oh, wait, even the loser?
The loser also wins.
Yeah, so I guess really when it comes down to it, we're talking about one movie that is all about paranoia and I don't trust my bro to not be a spider head, Venus flytrap, dog head mouth.
Peter Parker, son of a bitch. He's a menace.
Or, oh, golly, I don't know if my husband is a ghost. And then, my son's doing his little finger guy.
Yeah, he's going to grow up to be a child molester. Because he was abused by his father. He's doing his finger. Okay, that's the movie saying that. How many times can I use that as a defense?
Meanwhile, Jack's like, yeah, I mean, I'm a bourbon guy, but I'd take some red rum, too. Oh, my God, would alcohol have solved all the problems?
Oh, my God, I think so.
In The Shining?
Yeah.
It certainly didn't solve Kurt McChicken's
McChicken sandwich.
Kurt McChicken sandwich's issues in The Thing with Windows 95.
No, alcohol
and Blair
worked for him,
Witch.
too, because he was drinking the J&B Scotch. In fact,
And he,
do you remember when he was playing the computer chess? And
at the very beginning?
At the very beginning, and this sets up everything, kind of, because he is like, I'm going to win this chess match against the computer. And then the computer's like, nah, fuck you, I win, or whatever. And then what does he do? He's like, fuck you. And he pours the scotch in the computer, and it bros up. It bros up, and then it blows up. And then that was his answer later in the movie because he thought he had it figured out, The Thing, and then The Thing was like, nope, I'm gonna be alive still, and he blew up everything.
I actually, that is very interesting, and I didn't make that connection. Well
no, it's
done.
stupid. I feel like
No,
that
that's straight up, that's the real deal Holyfield.
Well, I mean, you can make anything into anything. It's like when you watch Drop Dead Fred, and you're like, he's real, probably.
God, you really love trying to find ways to work Drop Dead Fred into completely unrelated movies.
It's really good.
Kurt Russell's like, all right, we're going to see which one of you sons of bitches is Drop Dead Fred.
We're going to see which one of you is the imaginary friend. And he's like, snort face. No, but seriously, these two movies, how do you pick a winner? Because
Man, it's hard, yeah.
It's like, oh, this movie has a lot of these great things. This movie has a lot of these great things. I'm describing every, thing that everybody already knows.
Well, we make fun of their foibles, of course, but these are both fantastically made classic films.
Yeah.
And I love both of them. But,
Yeah.
Jono, this is Film Fights.
This is Film Fights. There's always a winner.
There's always a winner.
Unless it's a draw.
There's almost always a winner.
Well, we each pick our winner. So there technically is at least one winner until it's a draw.
And in the case of these movies, we've got to pick our winter.
Ooh, our
Both
winter
snowy.
winner.
Oh. Jono, tell me this.
Tell me. Or yes, I will.
Is your favorite Spiderhead McDouble Or is it Scary Angry Man Ghostfinger?
Ooh, well, now that you name them that, it feels like one is definitely better than the other because I'm getting a little hungry, actually. No. Is it chicken fingers or is it McChicken?
The good news is they both come with hunky dunky sauce.
My favorite. The Thing.
Your pick is The Thing.
My pick is The Thing because they're both brilliant movies. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but sometimes when you have to do the chip and nail or whatever they call it,
chip and nail.
When you have to do the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers of movies, you just have to go with obviously they all hit the same check marks, except The Thing I probably will watch more often.
Sure.
Because I think it's a much more overall solid picture. Because what are the things I complained about with The Thing? Blair? I don't even remember. But the things about The Shining is I hate Kill Tony and I hate...
Not the show.
Right. No. I hate Tony the tiger in his mouth and I hate snow. So that's
there's
really...
snow in both of them.
Shut up.
Okay.
I'm sorry, who's picking the winner, me or you? Well, both of us. But overall, I think The Thing... Like with the score, I mean, they both had great scores. They both had great acting,
and both scores are kind of minimalist. There are a lot of parallels between these two, except for the stories.
And you know what? I would say if you said to me, Jono, which is the better movie based entirely on the opening, I would say it's a legit draw because they both have that musical score that's super foreboding, and they both have the same pace. The music is super slow. But what you're seeing is very quick.
Yeah.
Because the tracking in The Shining is is the helicopter or whatever that's going real fast, and this they're tracking the dog in the snow. It's very hectic, but the music is not.
Mm-hmm.
But then you watch the movie and you're like, oh yeah, The Thing. But all that to say, my pick is The Thing. At the end of the day, it was very hard to pick, but I fucking love it, and that's my winner. So. Konrad, what say you, my blister blubbered freeze band?
Jesus. So I love The Shining. It is terrifying. The Thing is so tense and claustrophobic and mistrustful. They are both great for so many reasons, but at the end of the day, right now, at this moment in time in which we are living, and you are listening to this in the past of times, so maybe we've been here the whole time, since July 4th, 1921.
54 years ago.
54 years after our country became a country.
Yeah.
The Thing is my pick also.
Oh, my God.
And... there's a very simple reason why, and that is...
Oh, it's not complicated like mine?
I actually didn't think yours was complicated. I think it made perfect sense, but just succinctly, the rules in which The Thing take place are very well-defined.
Oh, yes.
And everything that occurs afterwards is very logical, and... even though with any horror there is a level of suspension of disbelief because it's something that is not something that happens in your daily life, within its universe, The Thing makes perfect sense, and I enjoy the practical effects. And again, I agree with you. I will watch it more often than I'll watch The Shining. Yeah. Now, I'll say this for The Shining. The Shining does get bonus points for being so thoroughly crafted by Stanley Kubrick, as he does in all of his films. But, man, you know what? This is the same thing, man. You can go to a restaurant that puts gold flakes on their burger and they deep fry the patty and they put an entire lobster's family on it. Begging for their life, and you eat it, and it's great. But at the end of the day, man, I still like some disgusting shack.
Yeah.
Wait, that puts out spider burgers.
You just want that McReady, you know?
Yeah, I just want to go get my McReady with cheese. It's ready right now. It's cold by the time I get there. It's so ready. And that's why it's named after my pick of this week, The Thing.
McReady? Oh. Well, you heard it here, folks. The Thing is one of the greatest movies ever made, and clearly just 100 million miles above that trash, The Shining.
Yeah, that's what we said a moment ago.
Oh, that's what you said.
Right.
I slightly disagree. I just think it's like,
wow.
you know,
I definitely didn't throw a ton of respect at Stanley Kubrick.
Whereas I think The Thing is
him, not me.
The Thing is a popcorn movie, and The Shining is this piece of art that sits on a wall and is like, oh my God, Jackson Pollock. Anybody can throw paint at a wall.
Yeah, Jack Torrance's book sucked. It was just the same sentence over. Oh, that's the art of it.
Yeah, I would read that book any day. It's real easy. It's ages, 3 and up. See Jack run. See Jack kill his family.
Folks, listen, if you feel like all our opinions and no play make you a dull boy, why don't you send us an email at battles@filmfightspodcast.com and give us what for and tell us, what you think and what battles you want to see. Also, I know you already follow us on Instagram and Facebook, you silly gooses, and you best have subscribed and rated wherever you're listening to this podcast, unless it's our website, in which case I don't think there's a system in place for that.
No, but you can look at it.
Yeah.
And then you can share it with others and say, look how regular this website is, but the content. Sometimes when you get a Werther's original.
Bye!
It's the city of Sam Houston.
Angles.
What's his name? Sam, the one with the mustache.
Sam Houston. That's Houston.
No, the actor.
Sam Elliott?
Yes.
You motherfucker, you said Sam Houston. He's a historical figure.
I did.
He had a mustache.
I did, because I am a stream of consciousness.
A lot of people have mustaches. We both have mustaches.
But neither of us are named Sam.
But that's true.
That's the truest thing I've ever said. So don't ever say that I'm not a liar.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, here we go.